All right, I've been avoiding this topic since I started my social medias because I don't want to become like a PED, AAS, TRT type of, I don't know, whatever you call what it is that I'm doing. I just know so many people that are jumping on the TRT bandwagon, which there's nothing wrong with that, but without any information as to, you know, why they might have low testosterone, and just the assumption that low testosterone, insert more testosterone, problem solved. So let's get into it. Alright, so you feel like crap talking to the men here, but this also applies to women. Separate topic, a little bit more nuanced, but for another video. Speaking to the men here, so you feel like crap, you think you might have low testosterone. So you do the right thing, you go to your doctor, and, you know, healthy, depending on your age, is somewhere between, like, call it 400 and 800 nanograms per deciliter, and you're like at, I don't know, 250. Doctor's like, oh, testosterone's low, and you're like, yep, feel like crap, figured. And he says, you want TRT? And you're like, yep, sure. And then you take it, and everything's hunky-dory. Did you consider, before just taking the TRT, specifically why your testosterone is low? This is the reason why I'm making this video, because I know so many people that are on TRT that never considered any of this before they just hopped on. So a little bit of science here, but it's key. There's this feedback loop in your body referred to as the HPTA, hypothalamic pituitary testicular axis. Again, I'm being male specific here. Women, you have a similar thing, hypothalamic pituitary ovarian axis. Also the adrenal glands involved, but let's keep it simple. So the HPTA, what this feedback loop describes is the relationship between your hypothalamus, which is a part of your brain, to your pituitary gland, to your testes, your gonads, and then back to your brain. So it's a loop. This essentially is how your testosterone is produced and regulated, okay? So here's a simple version of how it all works. Your hypothalamus in your brain secretes a thing called GnRH, gonadotropin releasing hormone. That tells your pituitary gland to produce LH, luteinizing hormone, and FSH, follicle stimulating hormone. The LH and FSH go down to your testes, and then the FSH tells the Sertoli cells to make sperm, and the LH tells the Leydig cells to make testosterone. Some of that gets aromatized to make a little bit of estrogen. Some of that gets hit with an enzyme called 5-alpha reductase that the liver produces to make a little bit of DHT, and then your hypothalamus detects all of that and goes, okay, because of this level of testosterone, we need to secrete this level of GnRH to keep the cycle going. Okay, so now having a very basic understanding of how the HPTA functions, you need to realize that your low testosterone could be a result of a disconnect at any point in that cycle. So if for whatever reason you're not secreting enough GnRH in the hypothalamus, then your pituitary doesn't get a strong signal, and then it disrupts everything down the feedback loop. If your pituitary is not secreting enough LH or FSH, then your testes aren't getting a strong enough signal. You could also just have an issue with the testes. That's a separate discussion. And furthermore, adjacent to the HPTA, there's also the point of discussion of sex hormone binding globulin, SHBG, which if that's really high, your free testosterone is going to be low, even though your total testosterone might be within the reference range. A lot of these causes for why your testosterone might be low can be attenuated or eliminated entirely with lifestyle change before you decide to commit to something long-term like TRT. Now, if you just want to hop on TRT, by all means, like, do you. This is not medical advice or anything like that. I'm not an endocrinologist. Probably should have put the disclaimer on the front end of this video. But what I am trying to do is give you a little bit of education on possibly why your testosterone's low so that you have some things to consider before you decide to hop on HRT. Regardless of what you may learn from me or any other online source, always consult with a medical professional before making these kinds of decisions. Thanks for watching. Stay in the fight.